Hi, church. Yesterday, I ran into a young man who has been attending Nags Church for a few months. He has special needs, and he loves being at church. And he saw me. I was wearing a mask, but he recognized me and said, "Hi, preacher. I miss you." Well, let me tell you, I miss you too. Shepherds are made to be in close contact with the sheep, aren't we? Our pastors have met several times in the past almost 3 months to come up with a plan for coming back together as a family in worship. I won't use the word reopen because we never closed. We've just been doing church in another location. And it seems that every time we think we've got the phases down to where we understand them, the guidelines from the governor or the CDC, they get changed. So let me share with you how we're approaching this. Number one, our way of doing church at Nags Head Church, our model, our priorities, our purposes don't allow us to do church halfway. How can we exclude little children? And we can't think of a way to keep them socially distanced in Cowabunga Cove. And if we exclude little children, then we're also excluding their moms and dads. And how can we exclude our most senior worshipers who are most vulnerable to the virus? It's just not who we are. Number two, the CDC Guidelines for gathering for worship make it impossible to comply. Seating with social distancing would allow us less than 50 in a worship service, including our band and tech team. That leaves room for about maybe 40 worshipers. In June, for example, we typically average 450 on a Sunday morning. So to accommodate that many people, we would have to have 10 services. We'd have to sanitize every touch point after every service and have someone sanitize the restrooms after every visit. And the list just goes on and on. We're even told not to sing. I know that the CDC has gotten some things right and they've gotten some things wrong, but they are who they are and have given guidelines, and we're going to stick with them. We're not going to be the maverick church that snubs its nose at medical and government authorities and just does what we please. And even though the court has said we're free to meet, our position here at Nags Head Church is just because we can doesn't mean we should. Number three, most of us are not comfortable getting together in close quarters yet. Plus, when you figure in our out-of-town vacationers who on Sundays double our own local attenders, you can realize how extremely difficult it would be. I'm not ready, personally, to be that close to 300 other people in our building. We want you to know that we care about your safety. If we were to jump the gun just so that we could do what we all want to do, and that is be together, and do so with the increased risks of being in a population that in our county has gone from 35,000 to 200,000, we just believe there's too much at risk. Number four, think about church for a moment, with no hugs and no handshakes and no singing, with a monitor at every restroom to ensure there's social distancing there, one at a time, and looking around at all the emptiness. It would not be encouraging, I don't think, but it would be depressing. Lining up outside the door, 6 feet apart to enter the building, leaving in small groups with no lingering in the lobby for fellowship. That's just not how or why Nags Head Church is here. Number five, our online services are reaching upwards of 2,000 views each Sunday. And that means probably more than double that are actually watching, because most people are watching with someone else. So right now, Nags Head Church is far surpassing in worship what we ever could in our building. Luke and his team are working right now, as I speak, working right now to make that online experience even better. I don't know what you can see behind me, but the auditorium is a little bit disheveled because they are pulling some wires and getting things ready for when we do come back together. Our youth and children are being reached and taught by online resources that go out each week. So it's all different what's happening right now, but it's being effective in reaching and teaching our community and our world. So where are we now? Well, let me tell you, we're still loving God. We're still loving others. We're still reaching the world. Nothing has changed in the mission of Nags Head Church. And while we haven't been able to come to the church physically, we're continuing, listen to me, to be the church and to find new ways to accomplish that. How long have you heard us teach that the church is not the building, it's the people? And right now, Nags Head Church is alive and well. Most of our connection groups have been meeting via Zoom, and if not Zoom, you found other ways to stay connected. And now our suggestion to you in groups is that you look for ways and places where you can return to meeting in person. It probably won't be in someone's living room, but it could be on a deck, outside, around a pool, in someone's backyard, in a community clubhouse, or it could be right here in our beautiful, paid-for building on Soundside Road. Why not? For our church partners, our pastors are going to continue providing a devotion and prayer each evening on Facebook. We've enjoyed doing that, and I hope you have as well. But our bottom line is that when we can offer the Nags Head Church worship experience, we'll open our doors at Soundside Road for worship. That doesn't mean limited attendance. It doesn't mean there will be no kids ministry or nursery. It doesn't mean that we have to max out at 45 people in a room that seats 300. It doesn't mean having our greeters stand at the door instead of saying, "Welcome to Nags Head Church," they say, "Are you feeling okay? Have you been running a temperature?" That's just not us. And we know that some churches around us are starting to come back to being open on Sundays, and that's great for them. But we've never at Nags Head Church determined who we are or what we do based on what the other churches in the area do. And that's probably one of the reasons you chose Nags Head Church to begin with. We're okay with being different on purpose. Right now, our world, our neighbors, our community need us to continue to spread the good news to those around us in every way we can. There's a lot of anxiety. First with the virus, and now with the rioting and the killings and so forth. We have the answer to those anxieties, and the answer is in Jesus Christ. So let's be the church now more than ever. Your pastors love you. None of us in our church, and especially our pastors, no one misses being in a room full of worshipers on Sunday morning more than we do. And we hope that as soon as the dust settles, we'll be back. But we'll continue even then to stream our services online and find other creative ways to reach our world. Now, on Sunday, June 14th, I want to invite all of you to join us on the front lawn of Nags Head Church for a picnic and communion service. I want you to bring your dinner, bring your lawn chairs. We have plenty of room to spread out there. And we'll have some live music and some teaching and the Lord's Supper and then a great time of fellowship. It'll be starting at 6:30 on the 14th. And if the weather doesn't cooperate, we'll just move it up to the 21st. So God bless you. And God use you to bring peace and grace to our world as the body of Christ in this time of chaos and fear. I'll be looking forward to seeing you soon.